It's time for AI News, brought to you by AIAW Podcast.
Last season, everything was spinning, a new announcement, a new large language model every week. So we said, okay, let's see what is the gossip or the latest news for this week.
Excellent.
And so we all have like one or two picks each, and then we try to do it like speed date, speed like the news, right? So do you want to start, Anders?
Well, on the same day as we had the last podcast, last Thursday, a number of
major things happened.
Stories happened, and I guess it feels like so old news now, so it's almost embarrassing.
Are you talking about Sora?
Sora is one, Gemini 1.5 is another, Gemma is a third, all of them on.
I think they're all worthy of a couple of minute snips from you, Anders. Oh, do you want to take one of them?
I want to add one.
Yeah, which one?
Oh.
That company in Gothenburg that has just let all their creatives go and going over to AI. So a web design company, video game company in Gothenburg last week let everybody go, or not most of their creatives, and said, we're going to do this with AI because it's better for shareholder value. So that's
local news.
It's going to have global impact.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good one.
But that could be a follow-up, perhaps, to the impact of having this kind of development happening in the world.
It's really happening right now.
But so let's park that back to a deeper topic. But one of Eric's news was, did you hear about the?
Well, for me, it's basically I got involved more in the new Minstrel release.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed with it, and I'm so frustrated with them. Because they cannot. I mean, Europeans suck at making consumer products, And if you think about how Windows 95 conquered Africa, they didn't go after. They went after making consumers use them. If you want your AI to succeed, get consumers to use it. They will take it into the businesses for you.
Yeah.
And I wish that Minstrel or some European AI company will bloody make a consumer product that people will be so excited about as open.
So the core topic here is like it's not as easy as ChatGPT to use as a newbie.
It's not at all, not at all. And it's not as fun.
Yeah, but back to your stories then, Anders.
Which do you prefer?
I think you need to make a snippet on all of them, and then you can just choose one a bit more. But I think they're all worthy of snippets, actually.
Yeah. Even though speaking about the week-old news is feeling really bad. Okay, but let's do Sora then.
Let's talk. We cannot not talk about Sora.
Have you seen it?
You've played around with it. It's
not available yet.
No. But the guy sent me videos from it and stuff like that. It was just amazing.
Yes. So in short, it's a new text-to-video model that was released by OpenAI. And on the same day as Google made their big release, but it seems like they are competing here, trying to make a news story happening on the same day just to outcompete the other. Anyway, it's amazingly good. It can generate videos up to like minutes with coherence, to the prompt, and the quality of the video is much better than anything else. And it's really hard even to see that it is generated. It really looks like more or less photography or a proper shooting that has occurred.
Yeah. Did you hear the gossip that they think it has a lot to do with the Unreal Engine?
They have released a technical paper, and they literally state in it is not using a physical engine, and I do believe them. So I don't believe it, but I do believe they use a physical engine like Unreal to produce training data for it.
It's amazing. Can I just add something there? Do you guys follow the TV program now on SVT called Svensk Historia?
Svensk Historia, yes.
So did you see the last episode?
No, I didn't see the last episode.
So in the last episode, they actually started, because they're telling the history of Sweden, and because there's been such a massive evolution of tools that create moving videos, they actually created AI videos in Svensk Historia telling the story of Sweden. AI videos, and I mean that quality sucked compared to Sora, but do you guys realize the impact this is going to have on the creative industry?
Yeah.
I mean, if they can make an engine right now that does 3 minutes of high quality video, Disney is fucked. I mean, anybody will be able to tell a story. You can take a Robert Heinlein science fiction novel, feed it to an AI, and it will make you a movie. How epic is that?
It's crazy.
And it's just the start of it.
Yeah, that's
exactly,
Sora, right?
Exactly.
So,
but you can also argue that they're way ahead of anyone else. Or?
Yes, but there are competitors like Runway, ML, etc. They are behind. And of course, now OpenAI completely shuts down their whole business model. So they will have a hard time to compete with OpenAI going forward. But just to get a bit technical, perhaps, because Jan LeCun, he was a bit, I think, upset because they released VJEPA and they did it afterwards. And he said the Sora approach was a complete dead end. And I think this is actually a mistake of Jan LeCun. So I disagree with Jan LeCun here, which is not often.
Yeah, it's funny. You're a fanboy, I know.
But in this case, he said, they are operating in pixel space. And if you actually read the technical report, they are not. So they do have an encoder that moves from pixel space to an internal latent space. And they do the generation of the video inside that latent space of a space-time frame. So the patches that they take from the images and the video is both on the spatial grid, so to speak, X and Y, but also on the time dimension. And that is the patches they remove and the model has to train to create. And in that way, by moving and doing the inference and prediction and training inside the latent space, they are actually doing exactly what VJEPA is doing. And I think this is really interesting. And I think this is one of the true reasons for them being able to do this at a level that no one else has done before.
And is that the segue to VJEPA?
Yes, if we want to do it quickly, yes. But they can do a lot of stuff. They can't only do text to video. They can also take another video and continue it. They can merge or morph between two videos.
The social implications of this is massive.
I've already seen some people doing proper videos, movies using Sora.
I mean, you're going to have a kid up in North Luleå making his first movie. I mean, it's great. I love it. I think it's.
I also like that they do take it serious from an ethical point of view. So now it's not released, to the public. It's released to red teaming people that are looking into the potential ethical impacts.
It's going to be abused. It's going to be abused. That's just the way it is.
But they try to at least minimize it.
Yeah.
And that's at least good. They try to, right?
Until Grok gets a hand on it.
Maybe. Yeah, that would be fun. But anyway, they try to minimize the ethical consequences because I think we all realize the potential abuse that this could have.
Well, we know it because in ChatGPT right now, when you ask it a question, it says, I'm not allowed to, or I'm a language model and I can't answer that question. No, you're an American surfer boy. You don't want to answer that question.
Well, they do try to, the best at their abilities to add guardrails to it. And they are, at least if you believe them, trying to do that as good as they can. They won't, be 100%, of course, but at least they're trying to be ethical here. Let's VJEPA is basically the same story. It's just a continuation of the JEPA paper that Jan LeCun put out like a couple of years ago in 2022, I believe. And then they had the iJEPA for images and now a video, VJEPA. And once again, they move from the pixel space into a latent space. They do the inference there, very similar to Sora, and then they can move back.
So what is the VJEPA? Is it an article where they detail quite deeply how to do it, or what is the bottom line here?
Yeah, so this is Meta, this is Jan LeCun, and they put out everything. They have a proper research paper actually explaining how it works. And they even have, I believe, the source code and the models. I think they are released. They will at least. So they are being much more open with the method, the science, open with the model, open with the code.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and that is really good.
Even though I don't like Meta, I love that.
Yeah, and we will come. This is sort of opening up. Yeah.
And they will release it under the Common Creative license, so free to use for whatever. Basically.
Wonderful.
Can I now take the next news as a segue? Because at the same time this week, or even I think it was yesterday, Google released Gemma. Have you heard about Gemma?
No.
So basically, this is Gemma. This is what they then Google called introducing new state-of-the-art open models. And now it gets tricky because then this is sort of Google's play to be more open, right? But now we come into the next, and we can think about, is this good, or how will it work? I mean, like, for me, the news is not so much only about what Gemma can do and all that, but it's actually that right now there is they're starting to become a spectrum on what is open source versus what is called open models, which is actually not, and this is not open, it's like open weights.
Marketing.
So basically, in one way, you can fiddle with the weights in the model, but you don't really get to the real code or the real stuff. So I think the interesting stuff here is
but
actually,
at least they're going a bit more open.
They go
compared
more,
to Gemini. This is more open than Gemini.
Yes,
at least it's a good direction.
It's a good direction.
But I appreciate your optimism and your empathy in terms of that. The fact of the matter is that we are at an inflection point now in the next 2 to 3 years. If we don't decide the future of AI if the European Union can stop being so reactive and rather be more proactive, AI is going to go to the power of a few shareholders.
No question. I mean, we've been speaking about the AI divide for so long, and I think this acceleration between the divide of the few selected companies, the few superscalers that we have, is just continuing to accelerate. And I'm the first one to say this is not a good direction.
We were the ones. We actually, I don't know, but there's been a talk about and discussion about the digital divide, right?
Yeah, but before you go there, I've got one new snippet that I want to add.
Yeah.
Or are we finished with that?
Oh, maybe Goran also.
I think Gemma, or Gemma. When I say Gemma, I think about the Son of Anarchy. They had a mother that called Gemma. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I think that my reflection was interesting. They go in this direction. Beware, there is a distinction between open source and open models and open weights. So it's interesting. That I didn't want to linger on that more than that.
But if you think about it, if you do a search quickly on, did you guys see what Nvidia released yesterday? Nvidia just released a desktop LLM.
Oh, the desktop LLM, yes.
The RTX thing.
Yeah.
But that was like a week ago as well.
Okay, sorry. It's going so fast. Well, I got up and I thought that this is just epic. This actually really gets so many more people playing with it. Yeah. This is bringing LLMs to the masses, in a way that none of the other programs are doing it.
And still logging it into Nvidia chips, but still,
Yeah, no, true. But again, now I'm going to use your argument. They're trying,
They're moving in the right direction potentially.
But this is what I don't think that people understand. This is a commercial gamer move. Not gamer as in games, but this is a commercial decision that's going to determine the future of Nvidia. Because they want people to get into this space in the year, and they want to develop here. They don't want people to go to other things because they've got plans. Nvidia has got plans. Every company's got plans, and they're fighting for the users now.
And they should, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they are forced to.
So how do you see this game? What are they getting at? They want you to basically build your own LLM PC or use to your.
They want people to bodge on their computers at home. Okay, in exactly the way Windows 95 was released in the world in 95. Windows basically made an operating system ubiquitous, so that all of a sudden everybody started using that, and they started building other things on it. I mean, Windows became available, and all of a sudden Excel became the tool of choice for people to actually manage their companies. And still after 40 years, every single CFO in a company uses Excel. This is Nvidia's play to get people to bodge on their desktop with their tools, so that in 40 years people use Nvidia tools to bodge.
This is at our eyes, right in front of us. We have the Windows 95 move made by Nvidia in 2020.
Business moves don't change.
But Nvidia's been doing this for a very long time. The whole CUDA environment that is powering the Nvidia chip has been always in this way. This is how they lock people into their not only hardware but the software.
Yeah.
This is another software
but
play.
Isn't it the consumer play that is interesting here?
In exactly the same way. I don't think it's changing at all. It's just making sure that Nvidia can use their hardware in an even broader way.
Do you remember? Okay, when did you get involved in the IT world? When did you start?
For me,
yeah,
a little bit more in around 99.
Okay, so in
1980.
1980. Wow, you look so young.
Thank you.
So I remember in the 90s when people asked you, so what do you work with? And you said, I work with computers. And they went, we got you. It was like such an inclusive term of everything. It didn't matter if you were a programmer or if you were techie fixing anything like that. It was the ubiquitous term of saying what you did. I work with computers. And that included the internet, it included mainframe computing, which is now called cloud, and so on and so on. And why was it easy for me? It was easy for me. I mean, sure, I had a bit of, let's say, Windows 3.1 experience before, but Windows 95 just made it so easy. And all of a sudden I could build a website. And I built the e-commerce website in 1995 in a small town in Bloemfontein, because it was easy, because I had this platform to make it happen for me. And this is Nvidia's play now. It's easy. All of a sudden you can have a budget. And another thing is...
Are you happy for that, or do you think it's a bad move?
No, I want more people to get involved because I believe educating people is the key to saving humanity. Mm-hmm. Educate people as much as you can. And even if you have to use bad tools sometimes, like Windows 95, it got so many people. And then in Sweden made a great move when I came to Sweden. They had a tax rebate for people getting a PC at home. I don't know if you guys remember that. And most companies had deals with Dell. But what they managed to do is that they managed to get a PC into basically every single home in Sweden. The difference that made in Swedish society is cannot be underrated.
No, I'm still very annoyed when I have to buy a laptop and I pay the Microsoft tax for it. Basically, I'm forced to buy the Windows operating system. I never use it.
But don't you buy a Linux computer?
I do. This is a Linux computer, but I have to pay Windows license for it anyway. Unless you.
Well, every iPhone that you pay for, you give some money to Nokia and to Ericsson. Yeah. I mean, there's some
patent point.
But let's wrap up the news section. Did we have it? That was the last news. Goran, do you want to add any news?
Yes, just two of them that you missed, actually.
It
was a crazy week last week.
It was, but this is super new. I don't get why my tone is like this, but it doesn't matter. So Google had to pause the Gemini AI image generator because basically it refused to make pictures of white people. So all the historical, what is called images of white people were replaced with native Indians and colored one.
It went woke on them.
Yeah. So now they're pausing this. This is actually very fresh. It's coming out from today, so it's very good. The second thing is that...
but that's what Hollywood does. So what's the big deal? Now AI is doing so. Organic intelligence is allowed to do it, but artificial intelligence is not.
Exactly.
Biases are not allowed.
Right. We should not treat AI the same. No. And then this was very interesting for me. So Reddit actually has come into agreement with Google to sell their data to Google, so Google can train their model on Reddit. This has been going on for some time now.
This is sick.
Yeah,
this is sick.
Let's see how Reddit is going to do after this.
But it's interesting. They're selling their data, which is actually our data.
Of course. And like I say, that they don't care. Let somebody. Sorry, Goran.
This is the most important line for me, right? When people are talking about you cannot put value on data. Well, actually, you have. So in the contract with Alphabet owner Google,
my money
is worth $60 million per year, okay? According to one of the sources. That is how much the data...
Is it good or bad? I think you can see some positives with it as well.
I am
You're an optimist.
No, but otherwise, Reddit would be dead, potentially. I think in this way, it's actually a way
But that's the invisible hand. I mean, then Reddit has to die, and a new service has to come up.
Yeah, but the new service would be Google and one of the tech giants.
But they can still die.
No,
so
Google,
that's why it's kind of dangerous unless you can actually have the kind of old content producers out there to be alive.
Which old content producers?
Reddit, in this case.
Okay, so oldish, newish content producers.
Yeah. But otherwise, they would be dead. I mean, because otherwise people would just, be asking ChatGPT or Gemini all the questions.
Why can't Reddit just say, okay, guys, we're making money out of you, and here's a credit at Reddit. And here's a store. because you've surfed.
But Reddit doesn't make money. They're losing money now. They're losing users.
But now they're going to make money out of this.
Sorry, what?
Now they're going to make money out of
Yes,
this.
so that's a good thing, right? That's what I'm saying.
Good.
But they're ultimately making money on me.
Of course, but the alternative to just have Googles and the superscalers of the world to make the money would be even worse.
No, but I think that's how the invisible hand has to work. That's why Google reacted so fast when OpenAI launched, is because all of a sudden here's somebody that's eating their pie. And the nice thing about the world that we live in right now is new companies is not that difficult to start. With a great idea, it's not that difficult to actually start eating somebody else's pie.
I think it is, the divide is actually increasing. I think it will be increasingly hard. So unless we can actually have some value on the data and the superscalers have to pay for it, we will see a very quick death of a lot of companies. And I think this is
and the quick birth of companies. I do believe that.
But unless... who can really build a chat model of the future? It's very few companies that can. This is a big problem of the AI divide going forward. So I think that's why we will see an increased concentration of power to the superscalers unless we can find a way to spread it around. I think this is actually a move that at least tries to...
Why is Google doing this? Why are they doing this?
Because they want to have the data. Right?
Why do they want the data?
To train a model.
Why do they want to train the model? No, come on, follow me.
Yeah, man, of course, to make money from their chatbots.
Exactly, and they have got a corporate mission that says we have to dominate the global scale.
Yeah, but you can't really think that the alternative of not paying Reddit is better.
No, I'm saying that. So what about paying Hendrik for being on Reddit?
I mean, good luck doing that. But Reddit would die then even quicker.
Do you remember?
Right?
Do you remember?
I mean, do you see? Yeah. Reddit would die even quicker then.
But then that's the invisible hand. I mean, then somebody has to come up with new ideas. Somebody has to budge forth a new idea to make money. Now,
but unless you have the proper conditions to do so, we will see an increased concentration of power going very quickly.
I think in the Western world, yes, but I think that not in the developing world, not in the global South. I don't think so. I think already there are tools that are, like I told you about the mobile money. A bunch of Zanzibarian fishermen basically were the first users.
A foundational model in the future.
But they didn't care about building a foundational model because they had a function that they wanted. They wanted to basically sell their fish.
But let's step out of this conversation because it's really what we are seeing is then. I mean, in one way, we are seeing a concentration of power, which is dangerous, and maybe we need to fix some of this in the middle, and maybe Reddit surviving a little bit longer is good. But there's also a bigger picture here that we are really seeing two worlds are really.
It's apartheid.